that certain specific nutrients, ingredients, or supplements can enhance, our skin, our joints, our hair, our nails. And there's a lot of great science that's come out recently with marine collagen tripeptides, riceramides, hyaluronic acid, and there's a new supplement called Dermaval. Well, we've taken all four of those and we've combined it in a supplement called Rejuvenate. 3 delicious flavors, chocolate, cherry vanilla, pink lemonade, and then we have it unflavored for those of you that want to just put it in your coffee in the morning. It's worth a try. I endorse it, obviously, 100%. If you don't like it, we'll give you money back. It's as simple as that. So check it out at Fortifeye.com.
To your health. Are you seeing the check engine light come on more than normal? It's time to get under the hood. It's time for Ask the Doctor with Dr. Michael Lange. Sponsored by Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins. Dr. Lange is a board-certified optometric physician and certified nutrition specialist, helping people see and feel better through proper nutrition for 25 years. The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor. I'm your host as usual, Dr. Michael Lange of the Lange Eye Institute and Fortifeye Vitamins, here each and every Saturday morning live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic. So don't be shy. Pick up the phones and give us a call. I say us because it's not only me, Dr. Michael Lange, but my co-host, Dr. Susan Summerton. Both of us hail from the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, Florida, and Fortifeye Vitamins. And the live call-in number, write this down. I'll give it to you twice. Remember, we're coast to coast and the Ask the Doctor Network, and we're live video streaming all over the world. So it's actually good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, just depending on what part of the globe you're actually viewing or listening. So the phone number is 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. And I do want to take this opportunity to tell Dr. Susan Summerton, good morning. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning, Dr. Lange, and good morning, all our listeners out there. I just got through a nice Thanksgiving. I hope everybody enjoyed it and we're filled with gratitude and look forward going into the new holiday season. Looking forward to the gift giving and sharing ideas today about that and also answering any callers' questions.
Absolutely. Give the gift of vision, the gift of sight, the gift of health. You can do that. You can get any type of gift certificates at the Lange Eye Institute or probably Fortifeye Vitamins. So I agree. I cannot believe the holiday season is upon us. It's almost Christmas. It's almost New Year's. Susan, can you believe it's almost, 2026?
I know it sounds so futuristic, but it's right around the corner. Time is flying by.
I still think of a 1980 car as being pretty new.
Well, remember when it turned the year 2000, we were all nervous about what was going to happen.
Right. All right. So once again, I'm going to give you the number for Fortifeye Vitamins and the website. We talk a lot about nutrition on this program. We talk about ways of slowing down the aging process, of helping your visual system. And the phone number, first of all, for Fortifeye Vitamins, and they answer the phone Saturdays as well up until 3 o'clock, is 866-503-9746. One more time, 866-503-9746. And the website for Fortifeye Vitamins is simply fortifeye.com. Fortifeye. Fortifeye.com. I'm trying to sit up a little higher in the chair so you can see my little Tulane emblem on my vest. And I was holding up the Tulane jersey. This is their new jersey. I'm going to hold it up. So just a shout out. Tulane beat North Texas last night. It was quite a game. And Tulane is the American Conference champion. So congratulations, Mackenzie. My daughter goes to Tulane. Congratulations to her friends and the football team. Everybody out there, they did get a job and they're going to the playoffs. So that's pretty good for a school that only has 8,000 students. You know, North Texas had 50,000 students. So that's not bad for a relatively small school. They got a great team. They had a great coach. And now, of course, that coach is going to the University of Florida. So we'll see what happens. All right. Once again, phone lines are open. And I want to welcome our WRNO listeners out there. That's in New Orleans. That's one of the mega talk radio stations in New Orleans. When I was growing up in New Orleans, it was We're the Rock of New Orleans, but it's not We're the Rock of New Orleans anymore. It's talk radio, and it's a mega station. So a shout out to all my good friends in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'll be heading down that way again in a few more weeks to have some good Cajun Creole food. Also, we got an important date. I'm going to give you this a few months ahead of time. And Dr. Summerton and I both will be at this big event. And this is in the Villages at the Lange Eye Institute. That is February 21st. That's a Saturday from 10 to 2. We're going to have our first annual Mardi Gras Extravaganza. We always have a fall festival with a big crowd. Well, now all the snowbirds are back. So we're going to do it while you guys and gals are still in town in the Villages. So Mardi Gras Extravaganza, we're going to have Zydeco music. We're going to have jazz. We're going to have a lot of Cajun food. Of course, you can see Dr. Summerton and myself. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have huge discounts. We're going to have tents set up. And we had a big crowd in our last Fall Fest, didn't we? So it should even be a bigger crowd for this. You think, Dr. Summerton?
I think so. The Fall Festival always draws a lot of people. They love the specials that you offer. They line up to buy all the supplements, enjoy the good food and the music, and meet all the doctors and all our staff, our team that makes everything work so great together. And we just love getting to meet everybody during a social time.
Absolutely. It'll be a lot of fun. Put it on your calendar. Also, December 13th, I will personally be showing up at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater. So I try to give you a month's notice. December 13th, that's next Saturday after the show. I'll be there from 1 to 3 for 2 hours. So come on out and pick my brain on the latest in nutrition and anti-aging. Also, Dr. Summerton, we try to share with our viewers and our listeners, the latest in science for the eye and the entire body. And recently, something we all drank when we were younger. I remember in college, especially growing up in New Orleans, I used to drink something called Folgers Crystals, all right? It was instant coffee. It was actually pretty good. But there's some new science out there about instant coffee may not be the best thing in the world for people with macular degeneration.
Right. And it was a little surprising, but it's interesting that they did study it, but they studied instant coffee versus regular coffee and noticed that the instant coffee increases that risk of macular degeneration. Now, they're not exactly sure of the mechanism, but it could be when they process it, just like many processed foods, it builds up what we call acrylamides, which are basically damaging that part of the retina. So, with this new study, we're kind of encouraging our patients that are at risk for macular degeneration. So, in other words, if you have an immediate family member with macular degeneration, or if you have macular degeneration at any stage, that's one of those choices. Your best, if you're going to drink coffee, avoid the instant coffee and drink the regular brewed coffee.
I agree. For that, just everybody in general should probably avoid instant coffee. And talking about macular degeneration, I always say that macular degeneration is a nutritionally responsive disease. So the proper nutrition for macular degeneration is very, very, very important. So everybody out there with macular degeneration, or if you know somebody that has, or if you have a family history, you should consume more dark green leafy vegetables. All right. Now, obviously, on a blood thinner like Coumadin, you want to talk with your doctor beforehand. But I like baby leaf organic kale versus spinach because it's much lower in oxalates, still very high in lutein. And you want to cook it. You want to gently saute it or cook it. Orange bell peppers, high in zeaxanthin. Goji berries, also high in zeaxanthin. Also, studies indicate if you eat 4 eggs a week, it can reduce the chance of dry macular degeneration going to wet macular degeneration by over 60%. So eat some good free range eggs. Wild Alaskan salmon is high in astaxanthin. Pistachios are high in lutein. I think I mentioned blueberries as well, which, by the way, blueberries are great for men's prostates. And we're going to talk about that in a minute as well. So eat those foods. And if you have macular degeneration or you don't, and maybe you will do a little bit better as you age. Also, we developed a vitamin called Advanced Retina Formula. Now, this is an eye vitamin sold under the Fortifeye label. So you can go to fortifeye.com. And the Advanced Retina Formula is based on the AREDS2. That's the age-related eye disease study. So we do have the 500 milligrams of vitamin C, the 400 units of natural vitamin E. And we've cut the zinc back from 80 milligrams of zinc oxide to a more bioavailable form of zinc. And we only use 30 milligrams of zinc, and we threw the copper out. We still have the lutein and the zeaxanthin, and we added astaxanthin and resveratrol to it. So now we have a vitamin based on the AREDS2 study and based on some ongoing later studies proving that maybe 80 milligrams of zinc oxide is a little bit too much. So we try to develop supplements that are evidence-based that truly can help our patients. And this is a way you can take a supplement that's fairly cost-effective. It's not that expensive. And at least you're taking something that maybe gives you an insurance policy. This is not a cure. This is not a treatment. This is giving the nutrients that have been shown in clinical studies to be beneficial for the retina. And Dr. Summerton, everybody with macular degeneration, is looking for a way to slow it down. And we cannot underestimate the power of proper nutrition, can we?
Right. It is extremely important because that is definitely going to have a positive effect. We already mentioned processed foods in the form of like instant coffee. You really want to stay away from all processed foods so that you're avoiding kind of those toxins that are created when they process the food. And you want to eat the foods that you mentioned, the green leafy vegetables, the orange vegetables, and the seafood. And because we understand it's very hard to get the amount of good food in your diet with the quality nutrients in the diet, in addition to having the beneficial foods, that's why we need to supplement, not substitute. We need to add, in addition to that good diet, those good nutrients. And a lot of people have heard of the AREDs and the lutein and zeaxanthin. And kind of a missing ingredient that we don't talk about as much, and I remember in school we did not even learn this, is um, curcumin, the active ingredient in the spice turmeric. You've probably heard us talk about drusen, or if you're a listener out there and been told by your doctor you have drusen, those are the deposits we can see in the eye when we do a retina scan looking at the back of your eye. And when we see those right by your macula, you're a very strong risk factor for progressing into the macular degeneration getting worse. So I know as I was in school, they taught us there's nothing we can do about it. But there's new studies, later studies that show curcumin can actually shrink the volume of those drusen. Now, it's not immediate. It'll take a couple years, so it's something that has to be ongoing in your diet. But if we can shrink those drusen, then we can slow that progression down. And that's tremendous because we want to save as much of those cells in the center of your vision as we possibly can to keep you seeing well.
Absolutely. That's a great point you bring up because we didn't learn anything about the turmeric root or curcumin And now we know a lot more about it. It's great for inflammation in our body, but the studies that show that it does reduce the size of drusen is actually pretty promising. And I recommend curcumin to all of our patients with macular degeneration. And a lot of the supplements that we have curcumin in them. And, one that comes to mind, of course, is the Fortifeye Next Gen Curcumin. So Fortifeye Next Gen Curcumin, we did the science, we did the research. This contains something called Curcugen. And Curcugen is one of the only, if not the only, oleoresin food grade curcumins on the market. And this is much more bioavailable than anything else out there. And you want to get good bioavailability without having any synthetic derivatives in it and without having any black pepper extract or piperine. So this is relatively new. We talked about this on the show also. Studies indicate that curcumin and turmeric supplements that have black pepper or piperine in it may be associated with liver issues, hepatitis, and jaundice. So not to mention it can disrupt the mucosal lining in the gut and cause some stomach issues. So a lot of places are putting this black pepper and piperine into the curcumin to make it absorb better, and it does make it absorb better, but long-term chronic use of it is probably not the best thing in the world. So pay a little bit extra, get a good curcumin. I recommend Curcugen. Of course, our Fortifeye Next Gen Curcumin has the Curcugen in it. So not only is it going to be good for the retina and inflammation in general, there's some really good studies on osteoarthritic pain with Curcugen using 500 milligrams a day. And a lot of you know that I broke my right leg, my back, and my neck racing motocross. And some of you see me limping every now and then because I got some pain in my body, especially my knee. When I take 2 of the Next Gen Curcugens a day, my pain is essentially gone, and I do really well. 1 a day works pretty good, but 2 a day really helps significantly. So that's something to think about if you have macular degeneration, if a lot of inflammation in your body. Also, men out there with potential prostate issues, curcumin is very good for that. All right. Check it out on the website at fortifeye.com, FORTIFEYE, fortifeye.com. And you can check out Next Gen Curcumin and also the advanced retina formula we were talking about just a minute ago. We're going to talk about in a minute. We're getting ready to go to the phones to talk to Steve here in just 1 second. But we're also going to talk about men's health in just a minute. So all you men, listen up. Get a pen, piece of paper, and write everything down I get ready to tell you because you're going to thank me in the future. All right, let's go to the phones. Steve in Clearwater, good morning, my friend.
Do you remember right at the beginning of this show, you were talking about how about the year 2026, and you went and you also spoke about when we turn the millennium in year 2000?
Right.
There's something that this is a little bit off topic, but it's interesting, and I think it's fascinating. If you look at planets, they bounce around the whole sky. They're different times, different years and stuff. But the stars, a star chart from 1950 or 1750 or maybe 1,000. The stars only move just a little bit. Okay, very little over a lifetime, only 1 or 2 degrees at the most. The brightest star in the sky is Sirius. It's the brightest one, very important to Egyptian mythology. And over the centuries, it was every night on New Year's Eve, it was climbing for centuries, a little bit higher every year for centuries. Guess what night it was precisely overhead at midnight?
Thursday night.
No. Okay. It was the night of the change of the millennium.
Huh.
Now, what is the probability that the brightest star in the sky, which hadn't been directly overhead for thousands of years, but was slowly migrating to the top, was precisely overhead the year 2000? And here's what's really baffling. We went from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar. We eliminated 11 days because there was 20 minutes off every year.
Right.
If we hadn't done that back in the 1500s, that wouldn't have happened.
Huh.
And it looks like these people back in the 1500s, when they changed the calendar, were able to do it so precisely that over a century, they were only 9 minutes off.
Wow. You know,
it's astonishing.
That's fascinating. Steve,
Yeah.
I got a question. We're getting loaded up on other calls, but
Yeah.
I got a question that's perfect for your wheelhouse. And Dr. Summerton is going to appreciate this. Now, everybody listening, there's a particular date coming up, and some of you are going to be, biting at the bit to yell it out, and most of you don't have a clue. But there's a big day coming up, and it's December 19th. Steve, do you know what that day is?
That, I believe, is the day that 3-Eye Atlas
Bingo.
is going to pass closest to the Earth. I believe that's the day. Is that correct?
It is. And people are wondering, what's 3-Eye Atlas? A lot of you know, a lot of you have been following it, and a lot of you have not. But if you've been living under a rock, then you don't know what it is. So you better start digging a hole.
Yeah. 3-Eye means it's the third interstellar visitor. We never had an interstellar visitor for years. And then all of a sudden we had Anomalama, then Barscoff, and now we have this one. It's the third one. That's why they call it 3-Eye, the third interstellar. The orbits are unnatural. Its emissions are unnatural. The nickel, everything about this thing doesn't make sense. And anything in space is on momentum. This thing shifts directions. It changes shape. It does it. And Avi Loeb, Avi-Loeb from Harvard, has done a lot of research on it. Everybody knows it's not natural. But you know how academia is. They're so scared they're so scared of their tenure that they don't want to look like they're unscientific. Everybody knows. And our local representative, Anna Paulina Luna, is trying to get the old Juno probe, which we sent to Jupiter, to I think it's already gone by Jupiter, but I'm not sure, to take a look at this. But this is definitely not natural. It's definitely not natural.
All right, Steve, we're getting really loaded up. So in other words, ET may be coming home. We don't know, but yes. December 9th, get your telescope out and keep an eye on it. We got to go, brother.
And one more real quick thing, since you brought it up. Do you know the first one was Unamoma or something like that? I can't pronounce it. Do you know what that means in the Hawaiian language?
I do not.
Messenger. People in the old days, they would send a messenger out to see how the enemy is or how strong they are.
Right.
They send messengers. That's what it means in the Hawaiian language. Huh. A sender out to scan the parties coming. So anyway,
all right,
that's pretty good.
Steve, thanks for the call, buddy.
Okay, God bless you.
Take care. And we're getting ready. We got a bunch of people on hold. Anyway, are you digging that hole faster and faster, Susan?
I think my updates from that. I'm kind of under the rock there. My updates get to come from you, Dr. Lange.
All right. We got let's see, Dennis and then Taylor and then Mary. Let's go to Dennis first. Dennis in Gainesville. Good morning, Dennis.
Hi, Dan. Hi, Mr. Lange. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. You're a little bit dim, but speak up, my friend.
Okay. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Can you tell me about retinal detachment? You think I'll be a candidate for it in a couple of years or so?
So, Dr. Summerton, you're probably coming in loud and clear on your end there. I think he said, could you talk a little bit about retinal detachments? And I think Dennis did have a retina detachment. Can you address that really quickly?
Yeah, the retina is the actual back layer of your eye that's the crucial part for receiving the light in your eye. It's symptoms of retina detachment we talk about a lot, flashes of light, floating spots. If you do have those, that's where it's important to call your doctor and be seen right away, because it can be a symptom of the retina tearing or worse, completely detaching, which is the sooner it is fixed, the better the outcome. When you have a piece of retina coming off the back of your eye, it's still a live tissue.
I lost vision in my right eye. I can't see anymore.
So unfortunately, if it's been a very long time, how long has it been?
A very long time.
Yeah, so right now with medicine, we don't have a way to repair it if it's been quite a long time, because then the tissue has died off. But of course, there's all new research that is coming, but unfortunately right now we don't. How's your other eye?
I can see out of the left eye, but it's not a lot of vision. I'm still nearsighted, and I'm nearsighted in the left eye, and my right eye is out. I'm blind in the right eye.
So do you wear glasses?
Yeah, I wear glasses.
Yeah, I would make sure your glasses are made of what we call polycarbonate. That's a safety material. We always recommend when a person has lost vision in one eye, so that when you are wearing glasses, you have safety glasses on to protect that better eye.
Yes.
I agree 100%. And Dennis, today your phone calls come in, and a lot of times you have a very bad connection. So I'm glad we're able to take your call today. We're getting loaded up on some more calls. So remember, take a preventative approach, Dennis. Wear your protective eyewear, and eat your fruits and vegetables. See your doctor per their instructions, and then think positive, because we'll look to the future, and we will have something in your lifetime, because you're relatively young, that will help bring you out of the darkness in that one eye. But in the meantime, we got to keep your other eye as good as possible. Okay, my friend?
Yes, sir.
All right. You take care, Dennis. Have a great holiday.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right. We're getting ready to go to the next caller. If you got a question, give us a call. Dr. Susan Summerton and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. You're listening to Ask the Doctor, the longest running live medical talk show in the country. Been doing it since 1993. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. And you can learn more about what we have to offer and go to all our other sites if you simply go to my personal website, and that's drmichaellange.com, drmichaellange.com. And it can link you up with the Lange Eye Institute, Fortifeye Vitamins, and many other sites. So that's drmichaellange.com. All right, we're going to the phone. I think Taylor in Chicago has been waiting patiently. Good morning, Taylor.
Hey, Dr. Mike. Hope the show's going well. I've been listening for a long time, but first time caller. So thanks for taking my call.
Awesome.
So, as I continue to work out and exercise, that's continued to look different. And as I enter my 30s and have, approaching 32, that looks a lot different than when I was 18, 19. And same with sleep, and same with my work habits and sleep habits. So from that perspective, I kind of wanted to see what your take was on, as I'm coming into 32 here, what should I be looking at from a supplement standpoint combined with exercise that kind of you're saying you think would be beneficial as I continue to enter a different phase of my life?
Absolutely. So number one, you got to pound the protein. If you're working out fairly aggressively and working out at least 3-4 times a week and pumping iron, you need to pound the protein. You need to be getting 1 gram per pound of body weight if you're in relatively good shape. Now, if you're 500 pounds, don't eat 500 grams of protein. You eat whatever your ideal body weight is. You eat that amount of grams of protein, and then super clean protein, grass-fed beef, grass-fed bison, free-range eggs, free-range chickens, wild Alaskan salmon. If you do dairy, then A2 cow's milk or goat's milk, or goat or A2 kefir and or yogurts. Those are going to be much more compatible with your gut. And then from a supplement standpoint, there's a few supplements Dr. Summerton and I talk about all the time. And one very important supplement is creatine, all right? So creatine, the problem with creatine, most creatine is made in China. If it doesn't say CreaPure creatine on it or Creavitalis, same company, basically same thing, then it's coming out of China. And the impurities in it are not where you really want it. So you want German CreaPure creatine. You want something called MyHMB. Very, very good for muscle strength, for explosive energy, for building muscle. And also these are great for cognitive abilities, mental attitude. Also, they've been shown these combined can help with even depression for people out there. And then, a good protein. Right after working out, whey protein is by far the best, okay? A whey protein isolate is very good, or a whey protein concentrate. But this is where it gets tricky. It's kind of like the German CreaPure creatine is the best creatine. you need to learn to read labels. And when you buy a protein from the store, it's got to say three things on it. It's got to say where the cows come from. So to say American cows, New Zealand cows, Australian cows. If it says where the cows come from, you're one up already. It's got to say grass fed. If it doesn't say grass fed, then it's fed genetically modified grains that are high in omega-6, and the whey protein can be pro-inflammatory instead of anti-inflammatory. So now we get two things: where the cows come from, grass fed, and the last thing, it should say non-denatured or undenatured. And that means it hasn't been destroyed with heat and acid. So our Fortifeye Super Protein or our Fortifeye grass-fed whey isolate come to mind, because our Super Protein is a grass-fed New Zealand whey protein concentrate, and a concentrate is higher in the immunoglobulins that boost your immune system, things like lactoferrin and CLA, and also covalent bonded cysteine. So for a meal replacement and anti-aging, I like Fortifeye Super Protein the best. Also amazing post-workout. And then we have our grass-fed whey protein isolates, unflavored, and that's just after working out. Right after working out, you get the maximum amount of protein without as much of the immune-building properties. But whey is definitely the fastest acting. Now, if you really want to build muscle at nighttime, you got to take something that's slow acting and longer acting. So that's where our Fortifeye Vegan Super Protein comes in. And this is going to enable you to take maybe 1 or 2 scoops at bedtime. 2 scoops is going to give you 40 grams of protein that helps increase muscle synthesis and recovery while you're sleeping. And so in a nutshell, one of our Fortifeye proteins, and then either our Fit Pro, which is great pre-workout and post-workout, or you can add a scoop of our Fortifeye Creapure Creatine H&B Vitamin D. So I threw a lot at you all at once, but I'm sure that you're a little bit in tune with some of this already.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate you mentioning that about creatine and protein and the sources there, because I feel like that's something that I might get lost in the weeds at when I'm looking at creatine, because I feel like the market's flooded with it, and then you're just focused on value and price, but not really focused on, hey, maybe this might come from China and might not be all that it's cracked up to be on the label. So, and same with the protein too. Is it coming from China? Is it coming from somewhere else that, or is it denatured, or is it processed so much that there's protein missing? And that's something I've never really thought of, or I might think of and then completely forget, and forget to look at the labels when I'm just looking at dollars and cents. So I appreciate that.
And you want to look at full transparency, because a lot of these supplements that you buy, muscle building supplements, things, they're not transparent. They have these blends. They don't tell you what's in it. So we tell you exactly milligram for milligram what's in it. And I'm going to let Dr. Summerton chime in, because she's an athlete and she works out. She was working out this morning before the show. And I just want to see if she agrees on the whole protein. Most of us aren't getting enough protein.
I do agree. And we do talk about protein a lot with muscle and strength, but people have to realize it's not just for the muscles, because it also helps build stronger bones. We have studies out there that confirm higher protein, there's fewer hip fractures because it stimulates what we call IGF-1 and collagen. We also know that you get better immune function with more protein. Your antibodies and all your immune cells, they're made of protein. You get better skin, better hair, better nails. They're made of keratin, which is a protein. You get better blood sugar control. The protein, basically, when you eat it, it slows that carbohydrate absorption and also increases naturally your GLPs that we talk about too. And also good for your brain. It provides what we call those tyrosine and dopamine. Those are those hormones in your brain that help your mood and help you think. And we know that the more protein you have in your diet, it slows that cognitive decline. So yes, we want it for the muscles, but you get so many other benefits, and people are just not getting enough in their diet. And so that's where the protein supplements, they help come into play. I know myself, especially at breakfast time, I love to just grab a shake and go because I don't have a lot of time. I did the workout and I need to get that protein in. It's convenient and I know it's good for me.
Yeah, and I want to chime in on this whole depression thing. A lot of people, like I said, are not consuming enough protein, and decrease in protein intake, decrease in amino acid, or a deficiency in amino acid actually increases your risk of depression significantly. And there's some studies out there that indicate simply increasing your protein intake is as good as many of the antidepressants out there. So there's some data out there, some new studies that show that each 10% increase in calories from protein, that's not a lot, 10% increase in calories from protein equals 40% lower depression risk. So pound the protein. Also, omega-3 fish oil helps with depression too. So I don't know why I got on depression. I'm not I'm not thinking that you're depressed, Taylor. I just that's something from protein that I wanted to share with everybody.
No, I think that's important too, because I know mental health, just at least from my perspective and what I've seen in the marketplace, has been more and more prevalent, especially over the last 5 years or so. It seems like there's this brain fog and overload of stress and stimulus that's going on in our environment at a consistent rate. And so I think that has a lot to do and has a lot of bearing on protein and creatine as well, from the cognition side, but also some of the advice that you relay, not only on this show, but on a daily basis and on a weekly basis on the show too. So I appreciate that.
Well, Taylor, thanks for the call, and stay warm in Chicago, my friend.
Will do. Thanks.
All right. Take
Bye.
care. All right. So we're coast to coast. If you got a question, you're listening to Ask the Doctors. I'm Dr. Michael Lange, and my co-host, Dr. Susan Summerton. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. Also, if you'd like to see Dr. Summerton or myself or Dr. Lori Caputi at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages for an eye exam, or for a eye exam with a nutritional twist, if you will, I'm going to give you the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute twice. It's 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. One more time, I'm going to give you the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins. If you want to call and order any of the supplements we talk about. Remember, Fortifeye, our vitamin motto is right science, right ingredients, right for you. We're an evidence-based, fully transparent supplement company. And the phone number for Fortifeye Vitamins is 866-503-9746. That's 866-503-9746. All right. I promised I'd get to this for all you men out there, so listen up, pay attention. So there are some new studies out there, and we talked about this before, that's showing that men with increased levels of omega-3 tend to have lower risk of aggressive prostate cancer, all right? Also, decreased mortality from prostate cancer, and that's from consuming more high-quality omega-3 fish oil. But remember, it's got to be from a TG or RTG form. That stands for triglyceride form or reesterified triglyceride form. There's a few good brands on the market. Of course, ours is Fortifeye Super Omega or Fortifeye Super Omega-3 Max. So check that out. Men, all of you should be eating good quality fish like wild Alaskan salmon, sardines, herring, mackerel, and taking a good triglyceride molecule omega-3. Remember, most of the omega-3 you buy over the counter has ethanol attached to the backbone. Very inefficient, causes gastric distress. You belch up a nasty burpy fish taste, and it goes rancid very quickly. So stay away from the ones you can buy over the counter. Also, there's some solid research. We're talking solid research on, believe it or not, tomato paste and tomato sauce, helping to lower your PSA levels, all right? So supporting a healthy prostate. And the studies indicate 2 to 4 tablespoons of tomato paste a day, or 1 to 1.5 cups of tomato sauce a day. Add a little olive oil, because there's a synergy when you add the olive oil to it. All right, so now taking omega-3, having some tomato paste is all very good, but there's some other foods, and I'm going to go over this pretty quickly, that are good for you men. Pomegranates. So either drink some pomegranate juice or eat the pomegranate. That's even better. It increases your testosterone, boosts nitric oxide, lowers inflammation, lowers your PSA. All you prostate guys out there, pomegranate. Watermelon. High in L-citrulline, that's a vasodilator, increases nitric oxide, just like pomegranate does, increases testosterone, hydrates you amazingly well. Blueberries reduces oxidative stress and damage to the testosterone-producing cells. Cranberries decreases prostate inflammation. And now we talk about veggies. Cruciferous vegetables. This is broccoli, cauliflower, kale, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, all right? And these actually will reduce bad estrogen, increase your testosterone, decrease prostate growth, increase testosterone, decrease prostate inflammation. Also, garlics, onions, and pumpkin seeds. There you have it. From Chef Dr. Michael P. Lange, these are the foods that you men need to be eating frequently. All right. We're going to have to do something about foods for women soon, Dr. Summerton.
We do. Maybe we'll make that a topic of conversation for the new year.
I think that's a very good idea. Since we're on a roll with studies, there's also a study that you brought to my attention not too long ago that lutein and zeaxanthin, that would be our Fortifeye focus, decreases the risk of depression also. So another way to help with depression, not only does the omega-3 and the creatine and the whey protein, but lutein and zeaxanthin does. Also, some preliminary studies. A lot of you know that melanoma is kind of near and dear to my heart since my brother was just kind of basically cured at Moffitt's from melanoma. Zeaxanthin also, which is in orange bell peppers and goji berries, and in our Fortifeye focus, preliminary studies show that zeaxanthin may boost tumor fighting abilities of certain immune cells. It also increases the anti-tumor activity of immunotherapy. So that's pretty powerful. So eating your orange bell peppers, your goji berries, or taking a supplement like Fortifeye Focus. Now, Fortifeye Focus, I'm going to expand on it, and I'm going to let you expand on it also, the power of lutein and zeaxanthin. Fortifeye Focus, the 90 count is what I recommend. The 90 count is discounted dramatically, and that's on the fortifeye.com website. So we were the first in the industry to take lutein, zeaxanthin, and astaxanthin and put it in one little tiny micro gel cap. This helps filter the harmful blue light from the digital world we live in. It improves circulation to the retina. It improves the accommodative ability and the focusing ability in your eye. And I recommend almost everybody on a digital app, that's virtually all of us, either A, eating plenty of dark green leafy vegetables, orange bell peppers, and wild Alaskan salmon, or taking a supplement like Fortifeye Focus or something similar to it. And, as eye care providers, I think it's very important, Dr. Summerton, for us to actually impress upon our patients the importance of these foods or these nutrients to help protect their eye against this harmful blue light.
It is. We have to make sure we're getting it in our diet. But it is, again, one of those things that's hard to eat a lot of green leafy vegetables. It's hard to eat a lot of those orange vegetables. The superfoods, like you mentioned, the goji berries, that's a little handful of those, definitely boosts it. But it's also harder to find the goji berries and eat that many goji berries in your diet. So this is where the supplements come into play to just give you that therapeutic dose. In other words, give you enough of it so it can have a beneficial effect. So nutrients like lutein and zeaxanthin, they pass through your blood-brain barrier, and your brain is going to take what it needs first, which is good. The brain is crucial. So it's only if you have enough left over that it finds its way. And the only place we know in your body that it's stored is right there in the center of your eye, your macula. So like you said, we know it's good for macular degeneration, but for overall at any age, it's good for better visual performance, to help your vision with contrast, to help your vision in low light, to help you recover from glare. It helps, like you mentioned, protect your eyes from the blue light. It turns into this kind of yellow pigment in your eye. So that acts as an internal sunscreen for that damaging blue wavelength light, the short wavelength lights that our eyes don't like. So we need that protection on the inside because screens are in our lives for a very long time. So we need to do all we can to protect it. And then it offers skin protection, especially with that added, we have the lutein, zeaxanthin, and the astaxanthin that gives you some natural UV protection as well.
Right. So not only is it good for your skin, it's good for your brain and it's good for your eyes. So it's called Fortifeye Focus. You can get it at fortifeye.com. I recommend the 90 count because, heck, you're getting a pretty big discount on the 90 count. Also, we got a few people getting ready to take on the call here, but if you got a question, give us a call at 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. And we got somebody chiming in on my Instagram page here. Dr. Lange, you were talking about a month ago about a new low vision device. Please comment on this and what was it called? So I think that is probably Idaptics. We did talk about this. As a matter of fact, the CEO of the Idaptics company, I may very well have as a guest on here, in a month or so, talking about this. So a lot of people that listen to this show and watch this show are vision impaired and from macular degeneration or diabetic retinopathy, glaucoma, retinitis pigmentosa, whatever it may be. And you know what low vision devices do. Low vision devices help you regain your independence or maintain your independence. I mean, when you become vision impaired, it's tough. I mean, because you depend on everyone else just to look at, and read something. But now we've got a device called Idaptics, and you can set up an appointment to come in and see this. It's no charge. It's free to you at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages. This is a very advanced piece of technology. It hooks through your cell phone, and it looks like a pair of Oakley glasses. And it allows you to see in the distance and zoom in on things that you could never see before. By the same token, looking up close and seeing things you couldn't see before as well. Also, there's a little lady called Iris that you talk to, and you can ask her any type of question. You can ask her what's in front of you, and she'll say, there's a lady walking a dog, 20 feet to the right. There's a tree on your left. It'll tell you exactly what's in your visual pathway. So it's something that's pretty cool. Dr. Summerton, with AI technology, we're going 100 years into the future with these low vision devices. Things that we had, 5 years ago, we're really kind of laughing at. And what we're going to have a few more years is going to be revolutionary. So we're literally going to be able to take people that are vision impaired and some people that are blind and give them, more normal type of life. Now, not normal, but at least help them regain some of their independence. So it's pretty exciting times.
It is because we weren't able to kind of utilize the better part of the retina that people with, especially macular degeneration, where they've lost that very center area. And this technology basically uses those glasses in your phone to simulate as natural vision as can, but shifting that image to that part of the retina that's still working. And it's just amazing technology that they've been able to do that with.
Yep. So Idaptics, call the Lange Eye Institute. I'm going to give you the phone number. It's 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. Set up an appointment to see our opticians that will show you the Idaptics device. And if you try it and you love it, then it's probably worth buying. But there's no harm done if you don't like it. All right. Since we talked a little bit about protein today on this program, I want to give you guys a promo code that is on our website now, and we're still running it. If you're on the vegan protein, remember our vegan protein is all made in North America, and we've added Velocitol to it. Velocitol increases the amino acid profile, so it's got the amino acids of whey protein, and some of the essential amino acids are actually higher than whey protein. So it's called Fortifeye Vegan Super Protein. It's completely vegan. It's delicious. It's creamy. There's no chalky, no bitterness, no grainy. Comes in chocolate, vanilla, and salted caramel mocha. So a lot of you don't buy the salted caramel mocha because you think it's going to be a little odd. It's my favorite, and it ends up being most people's favorite. It only has caffeine of a half a cup of coffee in it. But we got a promo code, and you have to buy one bag of vegan protein. But then with this promo code, you'll get 50% off the second bag of the salted caramel mocha. So it's a way of getting it for 50% off. We can't give you a better deal because with all the tariffs, our prices have gone through the ceiling. So this is a pretty good deal. So the promo code is vegan caramel 50. Vegan Caramel 50. So put that in at checkout. But remember, you got to buy a vanilla, a chocolate, or a salted caramel mocha. And then you put that in at checkout. It's, I think, on the last page at checkout, where it's promo code Vegan Caramel 50. And you'll automatically get one sent to you with 50% off factored in. And I think that's on our website at the top of the page. It does give you that code. I don't know if it's still there. So a quick recap. Next Gen Curcumin, remember, does not have any piperine or black pepper extract. It's the only oleoresin food grade curcumin. If you want a really good curcumin, consider that. It's called Next Gen Curcumin, made by Fortifeye Vitamins. If you have macular degeneration, a history of macular degeneration, consider the advanced retina formula. It's based on the AREDS 2 study, but we've added some other benefits to it. Advanced retina formula can also get at thefortifeye.com. And then certainly all the proteins we talked about, Fortifeye Super Protein, Fortifeye Vegan Protein, and the advanced, the whey protein isolate. Right on the tip of my tongue. They held up the 1 minute sign, so it started freaking me out. Anyway, Susan, Dr. Summerton, we've got about 30 seconds left, so you have plenty of time to tell everybody goodbye.
Well, thank you all listeners and callers out there. We appreciate you, and we look forward to the holiday season. I know we have lots of people want to give the gift of sight. We have people that give gifts of glasses, gifts of supplements, just ideas out there to help your loved ones.
Thank you. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to Ask the Doctor. Remember, if you're not happy with the eye care you're getting, get a second opinion or come see us at the Lange Eye Institute. Anyway, I'm Dr. Michael Lange, helping keep America fit and healthy. We're out of here. Have a great day.